telling you, I wasn't ready today.
So when we introduce you, well, let's suggest our names and who we represent.
Yeah.
Good evening. Welcome to LoveLogical, DNA Not Required. This is Michelle L. Anderson, coming to you live from Podcast Detroit, Royal Oak Studios. We are looking forward to intriguing and entertaining you every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Let me start today's show by saying thank you for joining our family, which is biological by nature, LoveLogical by choice, DNA Not Required.
Hello, everybody. My name is DeLon Kennedy. Thank you with the LoveLogical DNA Not Required podcast. Today we're going to have my LoveLogical grandfather's program, Chance for Life. We have a couple of special guests with us. I have Lionel sitting to my left. I have Donnie next to him. And over the phones, I have Mr. J-Mo. All right, they're going to be telling us about a few things. Before we get started, I want to give a shout out, if you guys can see, to Two Times Focus. You know, I love the guys. They always look out for us. I'm going to look out for them. And let's get it going, fellas. I want to say hello and welcome today.
Thank you, DeLon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, D.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Formally introduce myself. My name is Lionel Smith. I'm an intern for the Chance for Life organization. I'd like to thank you for having me on your program today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And my name is Donnie Harris.
Speaking to the mic a little
My
bit.
name is Donnie Harris.
Yes, sir.
You know, I'm also an intern for Chance for Life, and I'd like to thank you and your mom for inviting us up in here this day.
All right.
And I'm Brother J-Mo. I'm a Chance for Life transition coach and consultant.
Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Mr. J-Mo. Thank you for calling in, and we appreciate you guys all being on the podcast with us today. You know, I want to start out by just, talking a little bit about the Chance for Life program. Can one of you guys break it down to me and explain to me how you feel about the Chance for Life program and what it is and what it does for people?
Yes. J-Mo, would you like me to take that question?
Yeah, go take care. Go and take care,
Okay.
bro.
Chance for Life is a behavioral modification program designed to help men and women transform by the renewing of their mind. Us, myself, J-Mo, and Donnie, we began the Chance for Life inside in prison.
Okay.
And what we did was we went through this intense training program. Myself and Donnie began it in '99. We went through this training program for like 7 years under our executive director, Ms. Jessica Taylor. This training program consisted of conflict resolution, 40 hours of mediation, 15 hours of training the trainer, critical thinking, becoming a person of influence, communication skills, men concerned with youth, family, and friends, and substance abuse awareness. And what we did was we took this training under her for 7 years, and once she trained us with this intense training, then we began to spread and be dispersed around Michigan to other prisons to set the programs up and recruit new guys to facilitate the programs as we did. That's how other men came along. And then now what we are doing is we are setting up the same program outside for Chance for Life outside with the same curriculum to reach the younger men and the families outside here to help them become better men by the renewing of their mind.
Okay. All right. Which one of you guys was, I was told that one of you guys was the original.
That'd be Donnie.
Donnie, you was the original man that was in Chance for Life, man. How did
Yeah.
you got the whole program started, man, right off the ground?
Yeah, that'll be me. As Lionel said, we was introduced to the program in 1999, and it was an honor to have such people as Mr. Adams and Miss Taylor come in and show that they truly cared, for a group of men. Through a lady named Marion O'Ross. They believed that men in prison, there was some good in us. All we needed was the proper tools and the proper education and training to bring out the best in us. So through the training, as Lionel explained earlier, through all of this different type of training and stuff, we became the model of this program, which is Chance for Life.
Okay.
It was an honor to be the first, but the first meaning that it was something that we started, but without the help of everyone who came along with us,
Yeah.
like Nanel and J-Mo,
Mm-hmm.
you know, guys like these here help us build the program to what it is today.
Yeah, they help you come together. You
Yes,
know, like
yes.
it takes a brotherhood in order to change your
Yeah.
mind. You know, sometimes you try to do it on your own and focus. You know, but it's always better when you have people with you. Yeah. So another day on the life. So let me ask, altogether, I was told that you guys have around you have over 100 years of time being in the system, and that's a long time, man. I'm just like, man, because I've heard a lot of stories about it. I've never personally experienced it myself, but I heard it's hard to, keep your mind, and stay positive and things like that. What are some things that you guys did to stay positive?
Well, entering prison wasn't easy. For a young guy, when I came in, I was 19 years old, and when I exited, I was 62. So I did like 43 years in prison. So I had to make multiple adjustments. It wasn't easy at first. I come into the system with the same mindset that I had that got me there.
Yeah.
So I continued that lifestyle for a long period of time. I really didn't start changing how I started looking at things or evaluating myself truly until Chance for Life became a part of my life.
Okay.
At that particular time, I started seeing things differently. And at that time, it still wasn't easy.
Yeah.
But transformation didn't happen overnight. It took a long time. But when I realized that in order for me to become better or become different, I had to get rid of the old values and the old belief system that I once had. As long as I continued to believe those things, I led that life. And with the training that I received through Chance for Life, I learned to do away with those things in that way of thinking. And I brought in something new, like our trainer tells us. She retrained us and rethink us to get us to start thinking better. And that's where our motto of Romans 12:2, be ye transformed by renewing of your mind, that helps us.
Yeah.
And that helped me a whole lot.
J-Mo, you want to go?
Chance for Life is probably one of the most powerful programs out now. We do a lot of great work out in our community. As the brother said earlier, only thing we did was take the program that we had inside, bring it out here, make it relevant, tie families into it, because we understood as Chance for Life that the family played the most critical role in a man and woman making a transition back out in the community.
Yes.
And Chance for Life is an umbrella. It's worked great for all of us. As the man said earlier, I came into the system at 15 years old, and I wasn't the best person in prison throughout my years, but I was graced and blessed to meet Mr. Adams and Jessica Taylor, I believe in 2006, and they had a profound effect on my life, and I was able to witness that they had that effect on so many other men and women's lives. I think for many of us, it was hard for us to buy in to Chance for Life at first, because our first question is, what do they have to gain by us having a transformation? What do they gain by it? And we realized they gained the pleasure of seeing us successfully become the men and the women that we are today. Many of us are committed to doing work and serving our community. Many of us were serving the prison community when we were in there, and now we out here and we're serving the community and representing Chance for Life brand as best as possible.
Yes. You said 2006. What was so significant about 2006?
For me, I was just released out of level 5 after 14 years, and I ran to Donnie Harris, and he one of the brothers like, man, I want you to become part of this program and get you off into it. Something that could be beneficial to you long run. I had leadership skills, but it helped polish me up in many other areas. I knew how to critically think, but it polished me up in critical thinking. And It polished me up in communication. It introduced mediation to me from a different perspective. So, and I believed in the brother Donnie and his leadership at that time, him and Eric McCullum. And once I entered the Chance of Life family, they embraced me, and Mr. Adams and Miss Taylor embraced me. You know, I consider both of them as spiritual fathers and spiritual mothers, because I've seen their work ethic and how they have worked diligently on behalf of all the men and women. And unbeknown to people, they go into 9 prisons every week. And for many years, they came into the prison on their own dime. We didn't get contributions. We didn't have grants. We didn't have none of that. They came out of pocket to come into the system and serve the men and women that were incarcerated.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
That's right. Okay, that's amazing. You know, and to me, just, you know, like them coming in and just, you know, trying to change the mind. You know, like that's one of the hardest things in the world to do, is actually to change the mind and to grow as an individual. You know what I mean? Like, especially when you have so many people around you that I would say fail to see the big picture. You know, so that's a beautiful thing that you guys can, you know, just, you know, you find other people who are like-minded, and, you know, people who want to change, you know, and it's like that's amazing right there. I can really respect that. What about you, Mr. Linnell?
Yeah, that's the beauty of the program, being able to find someone. I always say that God gave us 2 of the best people in the world when he gave us Miss Taylor and Mr. Adams.
That's right.
I came in the system when I was 18. I served 29 years. Now I'm 47. When I first came to prison, I did the first 10 years of just being in prison, falling into the same patterns of prison, being indoctrinated from the streets. That was my mentality. Still had the street mentality. And then, like the brother J-Mo said, Donnie. I was introduced by a guy, but Donnie was the one that took a liking to me, for lack of a better term, and, you know, pushed me to do better and to stick with the program, because, you know, having that street mentality, it's not easy to see what Tom and Jessica was really bringing us until you be there and see how genuine they are, and that the tools that they was giving us or about to give us really work for us. Yeah. So in 2000, when I got into the Chance for Life program, that's when my life started to take a change. Like J-Mo said, the first thing we all had to do in order to be in the core group of this program was to take mediation. We had to learn how to resolve our own conflicts. And so that was like the biggest challenge, going through it, you know, with Miss Taylor teaching us how to resolve our conflict. Because we all sat in the room with each other, not respecting, not even understanding the differences that we all had. So it was always conflict. But she stood in that room, and I got so much respect for her. She stood in that room and made us, you know, through the way she trained and how tough she was with us to embrace this conflict resolution, this mediation. And from there, it started to, you know, to soften us up. I think I always use Dahari's window about the hidden self, because she seen things in us that we didn't see. She seen jewels in all of us, with the men that's talking and the other men that's out and still inside that we didn't see. And so as she uncovered those jewels, then we blossomed. Then we was able to take this program to a whole different level and spread it to these 9 institutions that Chance for Life is in now. And like J-Mo was talking about, being able to go outside to the projects that we got out here to start giving these same tools to these young men and to these families to help reestablish these communities and these peace centers in these communities. So that was the change in my life when I got to Chance for Life, and those last 19 years of my life inside is what brought me to this place of where I'm at now with dealing and being so effective with the Chance for Life program.
Yeah. What kind of tools did she use to? You say, you know, like she was firm, but what kind of tools did she use to get you to change the mind?
It was her, just raw Jessica Taylor.
May I add something to it?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, J-Mo.
I think the number one tool and ingredient, you've seen her as a mother.
Yeah.
Wow.
So she knew how to use that tool to get into the toughness of her.
Yeah, she could work that room
she
as
can.
a mother.
You know, it's like when you in the presence of your mother, regardless how sick you are when you're in the streets, you have a level of respect for your mother and your grandmother that most men or women, young teenagers and young males don't lose. Right. And she utilized that too, and most of us gravitated to her because we began to see her as a mother figure, as a grandmother, as an auntie, you know, some of us as big mama, and she respected who we were. Right. You know, she understood we had our own individuality. She understood we held leadership in other religious organizations and other organizations. She respected that about us, and she never really tried to strip that from us. Only thing she did was use her motherly skills, polish us up in many ways, be brutal with us, and honest truth. And that was her best tool from my seat that I said it.
But to add to it, along with everything J-Mo said, it was Jessica. She wasn't going to back down. She was going to give you this training the way she know how to give it to you. And it didn't matter if guys didn't see her as a mother. The way she came in that room, her presence demanded respect. Her knowledge demanded respect. What she gave us, because you see a woman, you think, well, okay, it's a question mark. But when she left that room, that question mark was erased.
It was gone.
You knew who you was dealing with, and she wasn't naive to the game or nothing, as we call it. She knew exactly what she was doing.
She knew what she was talking about.
Along with the love that J-Mo was just talking about.
It was that LoveLogical family. You automatically knew that you were that LoveLogical family, you know, that you were in there. That she was gonna ultimately show you respect, but she was also gonna command it at the same time.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying? Okay. You know, I'm telling you, that's how, you know, I call him Pops, but you know, that's how Mr. Adams was to me. You know, like my whole life, even when I came back from Colorado. You know, the first thing he told me was like, you know what, first thing you got to do is you honestly need to go back to school. You know, of course I didn't listen. You know, I always think I knew it was best for myself. But now that I've been here for a while and I'm getting myself more established, I understand, you know what I mean? And it's that love, you know, that LoveLogical family. Sometimes it's got to push you in the right direction no matter what, you know. So I can understand and I respect you guys for that.
Can I talk about Mr. Adams for a minute?
Yeah. Let's talk about Pops. Okay.
Let's talk about him.
Yeah, let's not leave him out, because Tom is a visionary. I remember when I first started, Tom he laid his vision out to us, and you know, us coming from the street, having that street mentality, we can't really see what he see. Mm-hmm. We don't see it like he see it. So. But he stuck to what he seen. He stuck to that vision. He never deviated from, this is the plan, this is the way we going to go.
Everything he said he was going to do, he did.
Everything he said he was going to do, he did, and everything he said that was going to happen. So it's like we don't have a choice but to continue on with this vision that he's laid out for us to operate outside just like we operated inside, because it all came to fruition just like Mr. Adams said. Now, it didn't happen when we thought it should happen, but it all happened. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And so we have to give him his credit for having the vision and believing in us, you know, to do it, because he believed in us that we can do exactly what we did inside, and now he believing in us that we gonna do exactly what we supposed to do outside.
You know, when we was down at Mound, we had a program called Transformation Award Ceremonies. Okay. And it was formulated for us to begin to honor ex-felons and even prisoners inside for the good work and deeds that they did throughout the year. These Transformation Award ceremonies gave us the opportunity to meet a number of people that I would have never had met if it wasn't for Mr. Adams and Ms. Taylor. We met people through the governor, the mayor, you know, Congress people, you know, pastors. You know, my pastor, Reverend Branch, he sponsored me to go to Ohio University through a corresponding course. Okay. You know, which helped me get some college credits, which
it's good.
Which is nice.
Knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power, you know, which is good, you know, and I'm working towards my associates now. So Mr. Adams, through all his work and all the things that he have offered us and done, it has done nothing for me but better who I am. Through the program as a whole. You know, and as Mr. Smith, I call him Mr. Smith sometimes, Lionel, as he stated, that Mr. Adams is to me, and I know to all of us,
Go ahead.
he's a great man. He's a man of integrity. He's a man that continue to do the things that he know is right, and he hold us accountable.
Yeah, that's the number one thing.
And some of the things, or one of the things that I admire most about him, is that he's always respectful.
Oh, the most respectful man in the room, always. I love that about him.
Yeah, and another thing too is that commitment.
Yeah.
Commitment is very important. And this is something we used to teach in our classes, or we used to make known to the students in our classes, that we can teach a lot of things, but one thing that we couldn't teach was commitment. And that's something that you have to have within yourself, to be committed to change. And those that chose to be committed and change, they did. And I'm one, Mr. Smith one, and Jamo was another one.
Okay. Jamo, let me ask you, man, how did you feel about the first time that you met Pops? So you met Tom Adams.
I thought he was a pimp, man. I'll be honest.
That's what he say too.
Mr. Adams, he always tried to keep human.
Yes.
When he always came in, he wanted to make us feel comfortable and good. And he made us feel as we was just as important as he was, and we played just as a critical role in the organization as him and Jessica. So that impressed me.
Yeah.
But what impressed me also, he always used to stress about the importance of being diverse. Having Melanin Muslims at the table, revolutionaries at the table, Moors, Nation, Christian, Jewish brothers, white, black. He understood the importance of having diversity at the table so you can learn. That it was important to have a different opinion, religious belief, philosophies at the table. And he never wanted no one to change that about themselves, because it was those things that he was attracted to you about. He loved our individuality and our thinking. So I've always been impressed by that.
Yes.
And just his belief in us. One thing about Mr. Adams, he never tried to take credit for his part that he had played in the leadership. He always extended it to the men and women that was incarcerated. He always minimized his role as being minimum, and that's just to been the visionary, and we had put it all in play on his behalf. But often we always tell him, you worthy of honor that we give you and other people give, because you don't have too many people that have been bambling at the door of prisons that's seriously committed about men and women transforming their lives, coming out of society, being productive men, women, fathers, husbands. You don't have too many people doing that. Now everybody wants to be on the bandwagon of transforming people's lives incarcerated, but they were doing it when the cameras wasn't on, when it wasn't popular,
Yes.
when you wasn't getting a penny to help men and women re-enter back into the community. Mr. Adams Jessica Taylor was doing it for over 27 years, I believe is that. So those are the things that have always impressed me about Mr. Adams, that he respected us, he demonstrated his love time to time. He would attend my mother's funeral, my grandmother's funeral, my father's, both of my grandmothers. So just to see how much he supported us and believed in us, that has been very impressive to me about him.
Okay. All right. Like I said, I understand 100% when it comes to that. And Pops, he's changed my life myself, But let's talk about you guys a little bit, Let me ask. Let's start with Lionel. Like, what do you think? What do you guys plans? Like, what are some of the plans that you have for the community? You know what I mean? Like, what do you want to see changed around, like, in the community around you?
I want to continue to work with the Chance for Life program. I want to help, most importantly, try to help our youth, but not just talk to them. We want to be hands-on with them and work with these guys so that, hopefully they don't have to experience the things we experience due to the pitfalls and the downfalls of the street life. Also in that, we support the families and help the families become better people, better families, and bring everything together. Our goal is to help the neighborhoods, to help make a difference in the neighborhoods. And that's the way we see it is we got to work closely with the people, to connect with the people, and not just talk about it, but be about it. That's why J-Mo, when he talked about it in the beginning about us being out here with them, we have the facilities to work with these guys, to have the training out here, and not just say, well, we're going to do this. No, we understand that you can't tell somebody something and not bag it up. We're not just going to tell you something. We're going to bag it up with the work that we put into it. The same way we put the work in inside, that's what we finna do outside.
Okay.
Put the work in with these young men, young women, and the families, so that we can come together and make our communities better communities.
That's right.
Okay. All right. Mr. Donnie, he said that actually you guys were all talking about commitment. How do you think commitment could actually, benefit the communities around you? Like, what about you guys' commitment? What do you think that's going to do to the communities?
Well, I believe it's going to help. I truly do. You're talking to some dedicated guys, some guys that's sincere and love what they do. And I believe that if you love what you do, you put more into it.
Yeah.
And we love this here. We love this program. We done seen it work from the ground up into where it is now. It's steady growing, it's steady building, and it's going to get bigger. I use a lot of the tools and skills that I've learned inside through my training. I use it every day with my family.
Okay.
Every day I use it with, I have 6 sisters.
All right.
And they strong black women. And they've been doing a lot on their own for so long. And by me being the only brother left and coming back into the family, it's like I'm not the only man, but the man.
Yes, sir.
So I find myself using these skills every day, and they becoming effective. I can see it taking a change. I can see it taking effect on them. So I know it worked. It's just about being committed. When you committed to something and you believe in something and you love it, you stick with it. So I believe that by Lionel, myself, and J-Mo, and the rest of the guys out here, I believe that what we have to offer the youth, the community in itself, is something positive, and I know it's going to work, and I know it's going to make a change.
Okay. Yes, sir. All right. J-Mo.
Yes, sir.
How long did it take for you to change personally, sir?
For me to change,
Yeah.
I think it took a good, I would say good 20 years, to be honest with you, because I went into the system at 15 years old. I was locked up January of 87, and I was 15 years old. So it took me years to just, come to the reality that I had natural life. It took other years just for me to determine what was my purpose, like figuring all that out, figuring who I wanted to be, going through an identity crisis, coming into the prison system at that time, which was a very violent prison system. And like many, you confront violence with violence because that's how you talk. So I to be honest, I said it took me a good 20 years for me to really lock down and figure out who I wanted to be, what was my purpose in life. So it was a process, and being in an abnormal environment don't make it even better.
Yeah.
So it took me about 20 years, and like I said, I was fortunate and blessed to connect with Chance for Life, which helped sharpen up my foundation personally, but also helped me structure my spiritual foundation, which has always been very important to me.
Okay.
So, and that's why I have been committed through my work through Chance for Life with our outreach program, where we currently feeding families throughout Detroit and the Eastern community every Monday. We have other community outreach programs that we do. We provide clothes for the community. So Chance for Life, we're doing a lot of things to give back to the community, because we understand that many in our community are voiceless. And we understand that being that we have been taught how to critically think and how to effectively communicate, we have to be the voice for the voices within our community. So wherever we can feel the vacuum, whether it's homelessness, poverty, we there. Chance Life there, because our goal is to end violence in our community. We understand that the police can't end violence in our community. We have to end it, and that comes through changing how we think and how we view each other. Oftentimes, it's difficult for you to have to have empathy for anyone else when you don't see the value in your own life. So that is what Chance for Life is committed to do, teaching men and women the value of their own lives.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. Wow, that was really deep. Man, you had an event this weekend. What was your event about this weekend, JMO?
We had an event called Sean Day. Young gentleman, he's 11 years old. He had a rare cancer disease, and by the grace of God, his brother, his little youngest brother, was the only match in the whole country. So they had to go through the blood transfusion process, and we had a great fundraiser. We raised a nice bit of money for the family. We gave all the proceeds to the family. The mayor of Inkster came out. Other city officials came out to support. So, we made it to a community event, and people enjoyed their stuff. And that's one thing I really do appreciate, all our volunteers, the entertainers that came out and performed. So we had a great time and served the family. Young man Sean, he couldn't personally be there because due to his immune system and everything, he couldn't be around a lot of people. But we was fortunate to be able to see him through Skype. So that was a beautiful sight. He was able to visually see the love and support that he had from the community in general. The Inkster, Detroit, and other communities throughout the Southeastern Michigan came out to support his fundraiser.
That's beautiful.
That is beautiful.
That's
That's an amazing thing that you guys did right there. So like he had a rare blood disease, and you guys just brought it all together to basically help support that's where it starts at, supporting the community. Even if you go one family at a time, people are going to see that difference, and it's going to actually help change other people's mindsets. I can really respect that, and I appreciate you guys for helping him.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And the thing about that is, people don't really care until they know you care.
That's right.
That's man.
You can tell people, this, that, and whatever you want to tell them, but until they see you care, that's when you start changing lives, because that's what's missing, is genuine care and concern for people.
Yeah, it's the love.
Exactly. The love is what's important. That's the most key ingredient to any change, is to love, not just yourself, but to love others as well.
See, and I think that with our program, with the LoveLogical program, I think that that's what we're trying to spread in the community, especially to like some of these foster children, because they may get love, from these people, but sometimes they just need a little bit extra, that's why we do Hairfidence, because it not only gets them a haircut, but it gives them the confidence, it's that you need that confidence, and sometimes you just need like other people to talk to you about it, even if it's just, once a month, it's that trust, and yeah, that's a beautiful thing that you guys are doing. Donnie, I heard, you raise dogs, you train dogs?
Yes, I was fortunate to be introduced to a program called the RPSM Dog Rescue Program when I was at Lakeland Correctional Facility.
Okay. For
2.5 years, I was honored to train dogs. I didn't know anything about dogs when I got into the program. I thought I did, the way I grew up.
Yeah.
But they taught me that this was the correct way to train dogs. Rescue dogs, abandoned dogs, stray dogs. And we had like 10 weeks to reshape these dogs' behavior.
Yeah.
So they can be placed in a forever home. Mm-hmm. And I had the privilege of training 14 dogs through my 2.5 year period.
Yeah.
And they taught me a lot. The dog taught me how to care, how to be responsible, about another being. And with that, they showed me love.
Okay.
They showed me affection, which drew me closer to them. And so, it was an honor to be a part of that program, and I hope to remain part of that. That I'm out now.
Yeah. Like, I want to ask. So, let's start with JMO. JMO, how long have you been out?
Oh, I've been out 2 years exactly Friday. I'll be discharging off parole this Friday.
Yes, sir.
12 o'clock.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
Got
sir.
the time
Got
down.
the time down. I'm surprised you didn't say the second one.
You probably know how many hours you got left, huh, J-Mo?
I got less than 72.
All right, what about you, Lionel?
I was returned home March 26,
March
2019.
Oh, man.
Been
Okay.
3 weeks today.
3 weeks today. What about you, sir? What about you, Mr. Donnie?
Same time, March 26th.
March
3 weeks
26th.
today.
Me and Donnie was actually released together from the
Same day, same
facility.
place. Been 3 weeks since I've been honored and blessed, with another opportunity in life.
Yeah.
A
yeah.
chance for life.
Through the Chance for Life program, and I believe this in my heart, that without Chance for Life, I wouldn't be sitting here.
Yeah.
I truly believe that. I truly believe that the program in itself as a whole, brothers like J-Mo, brothers like Lionel here, brothers that love the program, we kept each other. Tom used to always tell us, police yourself.
Yeah.
Police yourself. This is you guys' program. He's always tell us that. And there was times when they didn't come in for a while, and we had to keep the programs running.
Okay.
So we had to do the things that was right. We continue to do the things that was right and correct. That's why the program still exists in all the facilities that it's in now.
Yeah.
Because our commitment, what we believed in, we didn't sway from, our morals, our beliefs, and it was the mission. It wasn't about the individual.
You guys were all family.
It was all family.
DNA not required.
You with us, we on the mission together.
Yeah.
If we ain't on the same road together, we depart with you because
Yeah.
we on the mission. A dream that Mr. Adams, Miss Taylor had, they brought to us. Now it's all of our dreams to continue to build this program.
Yeah. And I'm sure that you guys had other people in the groups with you. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
And
yes.
those people see that you guys have been released and that you guys
Oh,
are doing a
yes.
great thing, and they see that. That's how you change the mind. They're like, they did the right thing. You guys are the first of many. You know what I mean? Like many are gonna follow in your footsteps just because maybe it is something that we need to do with ourselves. Maybe we do need to hold ourselves accountable. Maybe we do need to stay committed to a certain program in order to, get ourselves back into the real world, back into everything that we need to accomplish in life. We need to help these kids, especially. One thing I can say is when it comes to the kids of today, they it's like, man, I know I'm young. I'm only 32. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm young, but when it comes to the kids that are even younger than me, I think the biggest thing that they're lacking is the respect.
Oh man,
Yeah.
there is none.
There is none. I don't know what changed, what happened
one
over
of
time.
one of the challenges that I face now is that I live with my younger sister, and I have a nephew that stays there. Unfortunate, his father had did some time in Ohio, 8 years, and when he got out, he was only out a few months before he passed.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
So my nephew, he's young. He's only 16. He likes football. So all the skills that I've acquired in prison, I tried to breathe on him.
Yeah.
It's not easy coming into someone's life and them not knowing who you are.
Yeah, yeah.
And this approach is the same approach with any youth that you approach that you don't know or don't know you. So it's all about trying to build a relationship, trying to build trust, and trying to have one. And last dude, he said, they don't. What you said was this quote.
No, they don't care. They don't care until they know how much you care.
Right,
They don't care what you know, what you say, until they know how much you care.
And even though I'm an uncle, he don't know me.
Yeah.
So it's going to take time. Even with some of my nieces and great nieces, it's going to take time. But as time comes and they begin to see, how much their uncle do love them and care about them, and the things that I'm giving them is the right thing, then and I believe in time that it all is going to change and they're going to become better.
Yeah.
I do believe that.
Go ahead, J-Mo.
No, I was about to say this. I have the opportunity. I speak with a lot of young people, in large forums as well as in small forums. And one thing I have gathered from both situations Because a lot of our young people are in pain.
Yes.
A lot of our young people are missing love. A lot of our young people don't have parents. And I mean, the definition of what a parent really is, not somebody that's trying to be your friend, trying to be you. They lack parental guidance. They lack people that genuinely love them. So so it's difficult to respect adults when the very adults that was entrusted to be protective of you are some of the same people who have violated you.
Yeah.
So it's difficult for you to trust out in the world because you think everybody have an angle. But once you sit down with a lot of these young men and women and they share their story and their pain, and they see that you can identify with them, and when you sit down with them, you're not being judgmental of them. You're not coming to the table telling them to pull your pants up, stop using the word nigga, or stop this or stop that. You're accepting them as they are because you understand as a mature adult that they have went through some things. And you have to build a relationship with them and gain their trust. And I can tell you from personal experience, once you gain their trust, they would gravitate to you. They would have the greatest respect for you because they see you coming to them out of unconditional love, and you don't have no angle, no hidden agenda other than you want them to be healthy mentally, physically, and spiritually, and you want them to succeed in life. So just a lot of our young people is in pain, and that's why we see the disrespect that they may have for other people.
One of the things I used to always say, and that Chance for Life offers the young people, is we listen to them. You know, they so used to people trying to, like Donnie and J-Mo was talking about, trying to tell them what to do or come in their life pretending as if they dad. They don't want to hear that. So what I used to always do, and it was pretty successful for me, is I would listen to them and I would tell them that, hey, you're going to teach me too. I don't want you to think that this just one way. This go both ways, because the reality is I just come out of a place where we was behind in a lot of things. So a lot of these young people was just coming inside. So I used that not just for them to help them, but I use it to my advantage because I can't move without y'all. Y'all got to, like now, we struggle with these phones. I can go get his phone to my little nephew or my niece and, hey, teach me how to work this.
I go to him for everything.
So if you, and that's a form of showing them love, that you care. Hey, I want to learn something from you too. This ain't just about me trying to tell you what to do. No, this is about all of us. And that's what Chance for Life is offering. We offering that there. We open to them just like we want them to open up themselves to us.
Man, that's deep. That's really deep. That's really deep. Like it takes them. You may be trying to give them a message, but at the same time, they're teaching you something every day.
Every day.
Every day.
Everything has changed from when we entered the system. Even J-Mo, I'm pretty sure J-Mo's still learning.
Yeah.
We never stop learning until you gone.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Knowledge
is power.
Yeah, we can't shut them out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I understand that. Well, let me ask y'all. I want to hear a little bit of like your personal stories. You know, like I think we got about 15 minutes left. About 20. I want to hear some of you guys' personal stories. You know, I want to know like I want to know your personal life. I want to dig deep a little bit. You know, who's gonna start for me? Who's gonna tell me a little bit?
Okay. That'll give me a chance to think about it.
My life is, and all of us has, unique stories, our own personal stories. I was born to both parents being heroin addicts. And I grew up in that environment, basically, well, not basically, literally all my life. My dad was a hustler. He sold drugs all my life. This is what I seen. This is what he taught me. And when I say taught me, I literally mean taught me this. Yeah. How to be a drug dealer at a young age. And I learned it through practice. From him, from being with him literally showing me, practicing this stuff with him, dealing with the people that he was dealing with. And so I think every little boy wants to be like his dad. That's our heroes when we grow up. So no matter what
No matter what.
lifestyle, that was my hero.
Yeah.
And he was always there for me. He never turned his back on me, even in his addiction. So that's the life, that's the choice I made to follow my dad. And in that led me on a criminal lifestyle, which ultimately led to homicide, which is what landed me in prison to spend the next 29 years, or the last 29 years, of my life in prison. And so until 10 years into the sentence, I still operated from that criminal mindset. And then that's when Chance for Life got a hold of me, and I started to change. Gradually, I started letting the criminal lifestyle go and doing pro-social things, becoming a better person and making my life about serving and helping other people as opposed to destroying people in the community that I left. But literally, that was where I was at that particular time.
Yeah.
And I thank God every day for what Mr. Adams and Miss Taylor has done for me through the Chance for Life program to get me to this point to where I'm at now. And I'm like I say, I always promote growth. I'm always open and trying to learn something every day. And of course, I give God all the honor, all the glory, and all the praise, because it was him that opened the door for me, that brought them into my life and used Tom and Jessica to get me to where I'm at to this day. The transformation.
Transformation.
Yeah.
Man, what about you, Mr. Donnie?
I don't have a whole lot of memories of my real younger years.
Yes, sir.
And I don't know why, but, I grew up with 6 sisters and 2 brothers. My brothers wasn't around very much. And a lot of things that I learned and a lot of the good habits that I hold today came from my sisters.
Okay.
Cleaning, cooking, taking care of the house, chores and things like that. Came from a home of separate parents. My mom and dad was separated when I was very young. I don't have too many memories of my mom. I think I spent a lot of time with my father. And as Lionel said, he was my guy. He was always whooping my butt when I did wrong, but I knew it was out of love, trying to keep me right. He worked his tail off to try to support his family. And I always remember, him coming home and taking us shopping and things like that. But, I was sent to the training school at a young age of 12. And I stayed there till I was like 16. And when I was barely 19, I was back in prison. So my life, as far as much living in the world, has been small and very none.
Yeah.
My father, too, was a drug dealer. So I learned how to sell drugs through him.
Yeah.
And through that led me to committing a homicide as well, and ended up in prison with a life sentence at the age of 19.
Oh, man.
So during that time, I lost a lot of family. My mom, my dad, 2 brothers, cousins and nephews and things like that. So, my life has been blessed. I never have given up hope. I always believed that, somewhere down the line that the Lord would see the good in my heart that he knew I had, and he would open the doors for me. But I had to first change who I was and show that he wasn't letting out that same guy that went in. And through the Chance for Life program, that put me right where I needed to be.
Yeah.
So, that's
a blessing, man.
Yeah, it is.
It's a blessing, man. That's a blessing. I know, man. That's a blessing, man. Just being able to change the life, and it's like just so the Chance for Life program gave you that new freedom, that LoveLogical family that you were looking for in order to help you grow as an individual.
Yes, it did.
Gave you that strength to stay committed to the program, that courage,
Purpose.
Yeah.
All that.
That's a beautiful thing. That's J-Mo.
Yes, sir.
I would like to hear a little bit of your story too, sir. Especially with everything, you know. How,
My story is typical of any young male growing up in the urban communities. I grew up around drug trafficking for the most part of my life. For many years, I thought my grandfather worked at Ford. Get up every morning, 4:30 morning, take a bath, get up, put on clothes. I thought he went out to work. Unbeknownst to me, my grandfather was a drug dealer. In the 70s. Matter of fact, the 60s and 70s. He was well known, had restaurants and bars, but like I said, I thought he was a working man. Till later on in my young life as a teenager, I found out what lifestyle he was in, and many other family members is involved. So I grew up around that environment. My father personally didn't know him for probably like the first 7, 8 years of my life, because my mother got pregnant when she was 14 years old, and I was raised by my grandmother. For about the first 6, 7 years of my life, I was my grandmother's child. So, and as I grew up as a teenager, eventually it was brought to my attention that my mother, who I thought was my sister, was actually my mother. My grandmother, my mother sat down and had that conversation with me. So, like anybody, that would shake your whole entire foundation, because 6, 7 years you've been believing that your grandmother is your mother. So that kind of shook my foundation. But over time, me and my mother began to build an intimate relationship with each other. Unfortunately, my mother was indicted with other family members in '86, and she went to prison. I found out that my father, at the same time, he was in prison, because my father was off in selling guns and things of that nature. And unfortunately, in January of 1987, me and a group of friends of mine who were also selling drugs at that time, we got into a competition with a gentleman for being disrespectful to one of our female friends. And unfortunately, I shot the gentleman. He lost his life tragically, over my stupidity and immaturity. And, from that point on, I have always been committed to attempt to make amends for that tragedy act I committed at 15 years old. And that's why I live my life with one premise, I'm here to serve our community unconditionally, and I'm in lifetime debt to our community for my actions at 15 years old.
That's right.
That's right.
how did the Chance for Life program, especially you were so young, when all this happened, how did that help mold you into who you are today, J-Mo?
I'd say that the process of transformation took place, but Chance for Life, it showed me unconditional love for the first time I've seen. That's what Jessica and Mr. Adams brought to the table. Unconditional love, wanted to see me to be a better human being, wanted to show me what love really is, through our teaching of critical thinking in community and our family peace and all that. I was missing that component because I was in there such at an early age. And I can say even still to this day, I'm still learning, still growing, still adapting to being with family and the whole dynamics of building that relationship. So Chance for Life played a critical role in some of the stubborn ways I thought, I was still thinking. And so they helped mold and shape that and just basically polish me up, to help become the man I am today.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead, Donnie.
Yeah, I just wanted to add a couple things. I remember when I met J-Mo, when I left my own correctional facility and I went to Macomb, and I was given the honors to go there and open up the Chance for Life program to train 26 guys. And I remember when I met J-Mo, I didn't know J-Mo before then, but we knew neutral people. Mm-hmm. J-Mo was what he said he was. He was hard-headed, he was stubborn.
Yeah.
But I was persistent because I seen something in him. And as Julie said, as Lionel said, if you see something in someone, and that quote that you said again?
It's Johari's window when you talk about the hidden self, the part of ourself that's in us that we don't see, and then the people don't know how much you care till they know. Yeah. Well, don't care what you say until they know how much you care.
That's right. And I seen something in him, and I knew by him being or having as much as influence as he had over guys, that he would be an asset to the program.
Yeah.
And I seen that in him, and that's one of the reasons I stayed on him and helped him get in the program. And you see where he at now.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
what he's doing now. He's doing great things. He's doing wonderful things.
He is.
And for us, for the program, Chance for Life, and community and all. And I'd like to add to that. I met this guy named Paul some 30-something years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Doing this all my time in incarceration without family and friends like Lionel and JMO and CFL family, it would have been more difficult to survive in prison. We would have made it, or I would have made it, but it would just been harder.
Mm-hmm.
Brothers like this made it easier for me because I knew that I can always go to them and be honest and open up with my problems and things like that. I met Paul some 30-something years ago through just a fluke.
Mm-hmm.
This guy lives in Holland, Michigan, and he been in my life ever since.
Yeah.
Wherever prison I went to, he came, and that's love.
That is.
And when you have that love from friends like him, friends like Danielle, friends like JMO, friends like Tom and Jessica, it makes it easier to survive and to live. And that's what Chance for Life is about. It's about giving back, showing people that you care and you love them, and bring them in and help. That's what it's about.
See, and that's not to change the subject, but that's how Nipsey Hussle did it too. You know, he wanted to show the community that even though he had came up in the world and made all this money, you know, like he always came back to the community where he started, you know, to show the people that, yo, I care. You know, I love my people. You know, and that's the Chance for Life program that's deep, man. You know, like the fact that it gives you that love, man. It gives you that courage in order to change. You know, it gives you that spirit. You know, it gives you the spiritual, the mental, the physical, the knowledge. You know, and that's what's up. That's what you're supposed to do.
When you go into a room where all Chance for Life people are, you feel that warmth.
Yeah, it's that energy.
You feel good.
That positivity, right?
It's lovely going somewhere and enjoying being there.
Yeah.
You know, that's nice.
Yeah. See, that's what life's all about, man. I want you guys to stay positive like that, no matter what, you know? Like, to me, you know, the positivity in the world is lacking these days. You know, a lot of people, like, one thing I've noticed about coming back from, you know, Colorado to Detroit, you know, it was just different, man. Like, people don't smile as much, man. You know? I'm like, dang. Like, man, I'm like, hold on, let me get my mug going too. You know?
Gotta adapt.
You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I can't just be walking around smiling. Somebody gonna think I'm soft or something, you know? But that's not what it's about, man. It's about being yourself and, you know, showing the world that, hey, you know, I can make a difference. You know, like I can make an impact, especially when it comes to the community. Like, one thing I really enjoy talking to you guys about is not only your stories, but the impact that you can have on communities through the kids, man. You know, and that's what LoveLogical is all about. You know, we're all about changing the mindset of some of these children, some of these youth, man, because they are the ones who you don't want to follow in your footsteps.
No, exactly.
No matter what, you know, like they're the ones that we want to see grow and move beyond us. It's like you and your nephew. You know, like you want to see him get that football scholarship. You know, you want to see him go to college, you know, get that degree. You know, don't take the same road that I did, because that's not the road to take. You know, that's not the road to take, man. Like, if you see the fork in the road, you need to go right instead of left.
That's right.
You know?
It's not an experience that anyone should have to experience. One of the key words we talked about is courage.
Yes.
Because I think all of us, you know, going into the prison system and embracing Chance for Life, it took courage because of the peer pressure to do right. It's funny how I always say that going the right way is going against the grain, because the grain is actually to do wrong. The things that it should be is not, and the things that it's not, it should be.
Oh, wow.
So the courage thing is so important because I want to tell the young people out there that don't be afraid to be yourself. And don't allow anyone to handcuff you to the rules of the streets. Always be honest with yourself. There's nothing wrong with being different. We tend to think that if we don't do what everybody else do, then we are passive, or in the street language, we're soft. But you're not soft. You're courageous to be different, to be yourself. There's nothing better in the world for any of us than to be yourself.
Yeah.
Because when you be yourself, you get what you're supposed to get, what God has for you. Don't worry about what everybody else got, what everybody else doing. Be yourself, and don't be afraid to be yourself.
You know, another thing that Mr. Adams used to share with us, so one thing he shared with us recently, but he used to always say that he wants the tough guys. He wants the tough guys. That's who he wanted to bring into the program, the tough guy. Just the other day, he spoke about being a chump. There ain't nothing wrong with being a chump if a chump means remaining out here in the world, being free, doing good.
Or not going in the system.
Or not going in the system. Ain't nothing wrong with being a chump. You know, so to all the youngsters out there, you know, there's nothing wrong with being who you are, regardless of what someone may think about you. You wasn't born with morals, principles, standards, and beliefs. These are things that you acquired through your upbringing, through your learn. So if they're not working for you, change them.
Roger that. Yes, sir. And with that being said, always remember to be yourself. Stay true to who you are. I want to say thank you to Donnie, J-Mo, and Lionel. This was one of the deepest podcasts we've had. And, you know, it's all about changing the mind. The one thing I love that they said was commitment. You know, it takes courage to stay committed to something that you believe in truly, you know, especially when it comes to your heart. So, you know, I'm DeLon Kennedy with LoveLogical. I want to say thank you, guys. I want to give a shout out to 2 Times Focus. You can check us out at facebook.com. You know, that's LoveLogical. Or you can go to our website, which is lovelogical.com. If you guys have any questions that you want to ask them, we're going to have part 2 next week. So give us a shout out. Let us know what's going on, and we'll ask any questions that you guys want to do. Lionel, you got something quick to say?
Oh, I was just going to say you can contact Chance for Life at 313-784-9209. And we'll answer any questions and help any way we can. That's our main office.
Yeah. If you got somebody that, you know, could use a little bit of assistance, somebody that needs some help, you know, definitely reach out to Chance for Life, because they can help change the mind, the heart, and the soul. All right. I'm DeLon Kennedy once again. Thank you, and see you next time.